Hello everyone, welcome to Global Online UGC Net and Set Exam Preparation channel. Please let me know if my voice is audible and also let me know if we can start with today's session. Yeah. So as you all know that we are studying logical reasoning in our for this week. So here what we are going to do is we will be discussing categorical proposition for today's session. Okay, and we'll be taking up theory as well as MCQ. So as you all know, logical reasoning is a bit trickier unit as compared to other units of UGC Net paper 1. So we'll be taking up this particular topic which contains a sure question in the examination. Yeah. Okay, good evening all the students who are live on the app as well as on YouTube. Also, a very big announcement is that we are starting a new batch for UGC Net Paper 1 from 24th of April, students. Here, in our batches, we provide daily live lectures from Monday to Saturday, sharp at 9 p.m. in English. And here, we'll be covering your entire syllabus before the examination. So, all 10 units will be covered. And along with this, we provide you complete study material which is necessary for your preparation. So you will get comprehensive notes which you can read and prepare, and then you get last 10 years question papers with solution, so that it helps you to understand the pattern that is being followed by NTA. Then you get test series, 60 plus mock test you get, and there are 50 questions in each mock test. So here with our live lectures we teach all the topics and then we explain. You can ask doubts as well. Okay, so if you want to join our course, you can either download Global Online app. The link is there in the description box. Alternatively, you can contact us on our WhatsApp number. The fees is 3,000 rupees for paper 1. Okay, and also we have put an evaluation test for today's students. I hope yesterday's evaluation test you might have attended. Yesterday's code was LR001. Today's evaluation test code is LR002. So when you will go on the app, there is a folder for logical reasoning. So every unit has a particular folder in it, and there is another folder evaluation test, which will contain all the evaluation tests for each day. So today's evaluation test code is LR002. After attending this session, go on the app and give this test. It is absolutely free. Okay, there is no charges for this test. Okay, right? So let's move forward in the session. First, let's look at the syllabus. See, what I do is every day in my sessions, I bring the syllabus so that you understand what we have covered and what we have not covered. Okay, what is left, because eventually we'll be taking up each and every topic, right? So here, first, yesterday we understood what is structure of argument. If you remember, we saw an argument contains one or more premises and it contains exactly one conclusion. Okay, so here the argument, various argument forms we saw. Now what we will see the structure of categorical proposition. We saw everything like deductive and inductive reasoning we saw, right? And what is bottom up approach, top down. Whenever you see deductive it is DGP, whenever you see inductive reasoning it is IPG. Like that we saw Venn diagram, what is validity, what is soundness, everything we saw yesterday. Okay, right students? So if you want so today we'll be looking at what is categorical proposition. One question is short from this particular topic, so do watch this session till the end to understand each and every topic. So first let's begin. What is categorical proposition? Okay, what is a categorical proposition? So a categorical proposition is a proposition that relates two classes of objects. Okay, see, students, don't get afraid by these heavy terms. You might think, okay, ma'am, what is all this categorical proposition? No, it is nothing rocket science. Categorical proposition is something that relates two classes of object. One is called subject, the other is called predicate. Okay, fine. What is categorical proposition? Tell me, students. It is a proposition which contains two classes of objects, right? For example, the statement, the example that I have taken here. Students, I don't know this. It is going forward on its own. Okay, transition. Okay, let's see. In every few seconds, it's going forward on its own, the slides. Okay, yeah. Let's see. Let's come back. So, what is categorical proposition? Now you understood. It is a proposition, students, where it relates two classes of object. One is called the subject, the other is called the predicate. Any confusion in this? Any doubts? Any confusion? If you have any doubts, just stop me there. I will explain it again. Okay, don't worry, I will answer all your queries. So, categorical proposition is that proposition which contains or which relates to classes of objects. Here, the example, whales are mammals. So, this is an example of categorical proposition. Whales is the subject and mammals are the predicate. Right? Now, there are other components of a categorical proposition also. Okay, what are the other components? You saw what there is something called subject term is there. Okay, then you have a predicate term, then you have a copula, and you have a quantifier. Okay, now my dear students, I really don't want you to get scared from all these heavy terms. There is nothing rocket science. Again and again I'm telling you, students, there is nothing difficult with categorical proposition. What is there? It has four components. What are the components? There is a subject term, there is a predicate term, there is a copula, and there is a quantifier. How? Now, what are each one of these? I will tell you in detail. Right? The subject term is the first category or the class. Okay. What is the first category? Like, there is an example I have taken here in the bottom. All Indians are hardworking. So, what is the example I've taken? All Indians are hardworking. So, here, what is the subject? Whom are we talking about? So, a subject term is that term about which we are talking. So, we are talking about Indians. So, all Indians are hardworking. Indians is the subject. Okay. No problem, Shreya. It's okay. So, all Indians are hardworking. The subject is Indians, right? And what is the quality of that? The subject is the predicate. How are the Indians? The Indians are hardworking. Okay, all Indians are hardworking. So subject is Indian, hardworking is the predicate. Okay, now in front of the subject, many times you might have seen all, no, some not. So all these are quantifies, means it is telling you about the quantity. Like if they are talking about Indians, so what is the quantity of Indians they are talking about? They are talking about all the Indians. So all is the quantifier. It is telling you about the quantity. It could be all, it could be no, it could be some. Right? So what is the quantity? Quantifier tells us the about the quantity of the subject. So since we are talking about all the Indians, the quantifier here is all. What is the copula? Copula is the grammatical link between the subject and a predicate. Okay, what is it? It is the grammatical link between the subject and the predicate, students. For instance, here you can see are. Many times you might have seen no cats are dogs. So there also are is the copula, the grammatical link that you can say. Okay, helping verbs we have understood. So that is here. So what are the four components? Okay, many students are asking me to explain in Hindi. See, our evening classes are in English only. Okay, so we'll be starting up with Hindi classes on many students' request. So don't worry, we'll be starting soon. As of now, we'll be continuing with English. Okay, so all Indians are hardworking. This is a categorical proposition because it is talking about two classes of objects. Now this is clear. What is categorical proposition? A categorical proposition is that proposition which relates two classes of objects. Okay. What is the two classes? First is the subject. Here Indians is the subject. Hardworking is the predicate. All is the quantifier and R is the copula. Okay. Right. So Shreya is asking me to repeat again. Components of a categorical propositions are four. There are four components. One is the subject term about which we are talking about. Like in the statement, we are talking about Indians. So the subject is Indians. The second class or the object is hardworking. Okay, we are talking about Indians and how are the Indians? The Indians are hardworking. So here, yeah, if we are talking about whales are mammals, so the quantifier will be all. Okay, all whales are all whales are mammals, not hardworking. Yeah. So predicate is the second category or class. Then you have copula. Copula is the link, like in this statement, in this proposition, R is the copula and all is the quantifier because it is telling us about the quantity. Yeah. Right. Now let's move forward. There are two other important terms associated with categorical proposition. Very, very important. It is a humble request, students, to take this thing very carefully. Write it down in a notebook and a pen. Okay. There are two terms in categorical proposition. Something one is called universal and another term is called particular. Okay. One is called universal. The other is called particular. And there are another two divisions of universal as well. Okay, one is called affirmative and the other is called negative. Okay, so when you see the terms like all Indians are hardworking, so it is a positive term. Okay, because we are talking about all the Indians. So whenever you see the word all, and do you think it is a positive or a negative statement? All Indians are hardworking. Okay, so here, is it a positive or a negative statement? So how do we understand what statement is positive or a negative? If a statement has no or not, it tells us that it is a negative statement. Okay. So since this statement, all Indians are hardworking, it does not have no or not. That means it is a positive statement. So in the language of logical reasoning, we call it affirmative. And we call it universal affirmative. So it is universal because we are talking about all the Indians in the world. Okay, we are saying all Indians are hardworking. So if this is the circle of Indian and this is the circle of hardworking, so all the Indians are coming inside hardworking circle. So it is a universal, means this statement that Indians belong to hardworking circle, so it is applying to each and every Indian in the world. So it is a positive statement, so it is called affirmative because it is applying to, it is coming in the all category. Okay, so affirmative means it is a positive statement. All, if it has all in the sentence, then we call it universal affirmative. What do we call, students? We call universal affirmative. Right? Everyone is right. Universal affirmative means it is a positive statement. And one more thing, students, if you see the word like Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi is non-violent. Okay. So if you see the word like Mahatma Gandhi is non-violent. So that, if a question is which category of statement it is, universal positive or universal negative, particular affirmative or particular negative. So if a noun is there, a proper noun is there, then it will come in the all category only. Okay. So universal affirmative is something that starts with all. Negative is something that starts with no. Okay. You can see the word all also, each and every. If you see these words also, it is a universal affirmative statement. Now the other statement is particular. Some, it is a part of a class. If we are talking about some boys like cricket, so if it is a circle of boy and this is the circle of cricket lovers, so we are talking about some boys, we are not talking about all the boys in the world. So some is a kind of a particular statement. Okay. And since it is a positive statement, so we will call it particular affirmative. And if the statement is some not, it will be called particular negative. Okay, yeah. So we have taken the example here. Again, I have taken just to make things clear for you. Again, I am telling all is the quantifier, subject is Indian, R is the popular, and hard working is the predicate. So universal affirmative is those propositions that start with all, each and every. Negative is this one that starts with no. Particular starts with some, and particular negative starts with some not. Yeah. So Mahatma Gandhi is non-violent. It is a kind of universal affirmative statement. Okay, Mahatma Gandhi is non-violent. So do you think it is a positive statement or a negative statement? I told you, whenever you see the word no or not, then it is negative. Since there is no word like no or not, so it is a positive statement. What is it? It is a positive statement. And whenever a name comes, you will have to take it universal only. Okay, you cannot call it particular affirmative. It is universal affirmative. Okay, right? So the two important terms in categorical proposition is universal. Universal is divided into affirmative and negative. Particular has particular affirmative and particular negative. So positive statement means affirmative. Negative statement is the one that have no or not. Right? Now let's see the next slide. Very important. Again, I'm giving the examples of universal affirmative. So universal affirmative is the form of all dash is dash, or you can say all S is P. S is subject, P is the predicate. So if I'm saying all cats are animals, so the subject is what? The subject is cat and predicate is animals. So all cats are animals, subject is cat, animals is predicate, all is the quantifier and R is the popular. So my dear students, all those who are live, now do you understand why I'm saying? Means have you understood whatever is taught until now? Now can you tell in a statement if it is universal affirmative or universal negative? It is not difficult at all. I'm really saying this, students. It is just not difficult. Very simple. Universal negative is of the form no dash is dash, or you can say no S is V. Like if I say no fish are bird. So this is a universal negative statement. What is it? It is a kind of, my dear students, universal negative statement. And if we are saying particular affirmative, like if the sentence is some years are leap years. Okay, so not all years are leap years. What is a leap year? A leap year is the year that has one extra day. Means in February we have 29 February, and normally we have 28 days in February. So here a particular affirmative states that there are members of the subject in the predicate. Okay, the proposition does not rule out the possibility that all members of the subject are there in the predicate category. So it is saying here, this is saying that you cannot say all years are leap years. Okay, because only some years are leap years. So if it is the category of years, and if this is a circle of leap year, so only these many years are leap years. Okay, Shelly will be taking up questions based on this topic at the end of the session. Okay, so do attend the complete session. Okay, it will help you to understand the questions as well. Okay, then we have particular negative. Particular negative states that there are some members of the subject that are not in the predicate category. Like some birds are not flying birds. So now everyone knows, right? Can you see an ostrich fly, or can you see penguins fly, or uh, kiwi or kite fly? There are many birds which don't fly, right? So some birds are not flying birds is an example of particular negative. So if you see the word some, it means it is coming in the particular category, and if it is containing not, it means it is a particular negative category. So we have given some names to these proposition, students. Universal affirmative is called A. What is it called? We have, English has five vowels: A, E, I, O, U. So we will not take U here. We have taken A, E, I, and O. So A means it is the universal category, universal affirmative. If somebody says A is which type of statement or proposition, then you will say A is a universal affirmative proposition. E is the universal negative proposition. I is the universal affirmative and O is universal. Sorry, I is particular affirmative and O is particular negative. Okay, now comes here. There are four types of categorical proposition which I showed you in the previous slide. A is the one in which you see the words like all SSP. I means some SRP, E means no SSP, and O means some S are not P. So it is drawn something like this. Do you know how to draw a Z? Yes, I know all those students are live who they know how to draw a Z. So it is something like this: A, E, I, and O. Okay, so this is how you draw the diagram of categorical proposition, or what you call it, classical square of proposition. Okay, so you draw Z and you write here A, E, I, and O. So now my students, do you know what is A? A means all statements, the statements that starts with all. E means the statements that starts with no. I means the statements that start with some, and O means the statements that starts with some and has not in it. Means some not statements. Right? So A is all, E is no, some is I, and some not is O. So you have to draw a Z, and this is how the categorical, these are the four types of categorical proposition. You have A type of proposition, E, I, and O. So my students, do you know what is categorical proposition? Categorical proposition are those propositions that contains or relates two classes of objects. Okay, one is called the subject, the other is called the predicate. We have something called quantifier like some, all, no, and we have copula is the predicate like here are, no SRP. So this is the copula. Okay, we have subject, we have predicate, we have quantifier, we have copula. Now, now have you guys understood what is the meaning of all these terms? Now everyone understood what is categorical proposition, I know. Yes. So now something here comes. What is the quantity and quality, students? Okay. Now I'm going to tell you what is the meaning of quantity and quality. See, quantity means whether it is a universal statement or whether it is a particular statement. Right? All SSP. What is the quality? Okay. What is the quantity? Quantity means are they talking about some or are they talking about all? So we are saying universal. Quantity means they are talking about each and every person. All girls are smart. Okay, or it could be all boys are intelligent. So what is this they are talking about, the quantity is universal. They are talking about the proposition all girls are smart. Okay, or if I say, so boys will get angry, so I'll write boys also. All boys are intelligent. Okay, so in this proposition, what do you see? You see what is the quantity? We are talking about each and every girl in the world, and in the second proposition, we are talking about each and every boy in the world. So it is the what is the quantity? The quantity is all. Okay, what is the quantity? The quantity is all. So it is a kind of a universal statement. So quantity is universal. Okay, then no SSP. So if we are saying no boys are girl, so we are saying that no boys in this world, no boy is a girl or no girl is a boy. There is no relation between them. So it is a kind of a universal statement. We are talking about each and every boy. We are talking about each and every girl. Okay. So no boy can be a girl. So we are talking about each and every boy. That means it is quantity. Some, if the statement has some in it, is it is a particular statement. The quantity is particular and some not is also particular. Now quality. Okay, what is the quality? All SSP. Is it a negative or a positive statement? Okay, so the quality here is positive. That is why we call it affirmative. No SSP, the quality is negative. Okay, some SSP it is affirmative and some S is not P is negative. Okay, so here this is very important. They can indirectly or directly ask question based on it. And students, do attend the complete session. Okay, don't skip the session in between because then you will get confused. I will be also telling you about the distribution of the subject and predicate. Okay, you might have heard of all these terms. What is distribution of subject and predicate in categorical proposition? So we'll be seeing up in the next slide. See, now all horses are four-legged animals. So I will give you some time and students tell me what kind of a categorical proposition it is. Is it a A type, E type, I type or O type? Tell me students, which categorical proposition it is? A, E, I, O. Tell me students. All horses are four-legged animals, whether it is a A statement, E statement, I statement or O statement. Yes, very good. It is a kind of A statement. Okay, it is a form of all S is P, means we are talking about all. Yeah, A type. Very good, very good, everyone. All horses are four-legged animals. So what is the subject here? The subject is horses. The predicate is four-legged animals. Okay, this is the predicate. All is the quantifier and R is the copula. Right? So now, okay, so now in this statement, now we have to tell if the subject is distributed or, see, this is a very complex table. If you see here, distributed, undistributed, undistributed, distributed, undistributed, 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 distributed. So how to remember that, I'm going to tell you. In this statement, all horses are four-legged animals. So if there is a category of animals, if you see here at the top, so horses, okay, horses, if you see, I am saying all horses are four-legged animals. So am I talking about one horse, two horse, 100 horse, or 1,000 horse, or let's take 1 lakh horses? How many number of horses I'm talking about? So here in the statement, all horses are four-legged animals. So here in this statement, the subject is distributed. Why I am saying it is distributed? Because I am talking about each and every horse in the world. So you know there could be lakhs and lakhs of horses in the world. Okay, there could be horses in crores also, 1 crore, 2 crore. So here, since I'm talking about each and every horse in the world, the subject is distributed. Okay, what is the subject? The subject is distributed because I'm talking about each and every horse in the world. Now predicate, let's look at predicate. So should it be distributed or undistributed? Students, four-legged animals. So since all horses are four-legged animals, the predicate is undistributed. Why? Because it is having horses also. Yak is also there. Then you have tiger. Then you have lion. Then you have leopard. So animal circle is having many other four-legged animals. Okay, this four-legged animal circle is having horses also, other types of animals also. So it is a undistributed predicate. Okay, so why subject distributed? Because I'm talking about each and every horse, means this statement is applying to each and every horse in the world. So it is a distributed term. Subject is distributed, predicate is undistributed. Okay, because the predicate four-legged animals, it is not having just horses, it is having other four-legged animals as well. So sub predicate becomes undistributed. Now no dogs are cat. So if there is a circle for dogs and if there is a circle for cats, there is no exactly no relationship between dogs and cats. Okay, so dog here is the subject, cat here is the predicate. No here is the quantifier, students, and R is the copula. Okay, so no dogs or cat, it is a kind of E. categorical proposition. If slide is not clear, please change the quality to 720 pixels. Okay. So if I'm saying no dogs are cats, right? So the quantifier is no, dogs is subject, R is copula, and cats is the predicate. It is a kind of key statement. So here the universal means the subject here is distributed. Why it is distributed, students? Now you might have understood, because I'm talking about each and every dog in the world. I'm not talking about one dog, two dog, or three dogs. I'm talking about all the dogs in the world. So the subject term is here distributed. And if I talk about the predicate, okay, the predicate, what is the predicate? The predicate is cats. I am saying no dogs are cats, so the predicate term is also distributed. How it is? It is also distributed because there is no relationship between dog. If there is a dog, you cannot call it cat, or if there is a cat, you cannot call it dog. So subject is also distributed, predicate is also distributed. I am saying there is exactly no relationship between dogs and cats. So dogs is also distributed. I am talking about each and every dog in the world, and I am talking about each and every cat in the world. So subject becomes distributed and predicate also becomes distributed. Student, you might think this is a little complex, but I am going a little slowly because questions come from these type of topic as well. Okay, we can talk about the distribution of subject and predicate, right? I have taken questions also. Now, some men are wealthy. Okay, some men are wealthy. So here men is the subject, some is the quantifier, R is the copula, and wealthy is the predicate, right? So it is a kind of I statement. Remember students, A, E, I and O. So it is a categorical proposition. A type of proposition is all, E is no, I is some, and O is some not. Okay, so now this is a I statement where you are saying some men are wealthy. Okay, so I am saying some men are wealthy. So if this is the circle of wealthy, these are all wealthy people. Okay, from them I'm saying some men are wealthy over here. Okay, so here the subject term becomes undistributed. Okay, what is the subject term? It becomes undistributed. Why, student? Because I'm talking, if there is a circle for men, I'm saying some men are wealthy. So it automatically applies that some men are not wealthy. Okay, so if you have 100 men, just take an example. If there are 100 men in the world, I'm saying some men are wealthy. So there could be 50 men are wealthy, means they are rich, and 50 men are poor. So this is so obvious that I am talking about only some people. Okay, I'm not talking about each and every man in the world. I'm talking about the some men in the world. So the subject term becomes undistributed. Okay, because I'm talking about only some men. While what is the predicate? Now, now many students might be thinking, okay, what should be the predicate? Should it be distributed or should it be undistributed? Students, the predicate term is going to be undistributed again. Why? Because if you see the circle over here, some men are wealthy. In the wealthy circle, there are some women as well. Okay, there are some women also. Women can also be wealthy, right? If some men can be wealthy, there could be some women also who are wealthy. So the in the circle of wealthy, this is the circle of wealthy, and this is the circle of men. So there could be some women also who are wealthy. So the subject terms also become undistributed, and the predicate term also becomes undistributed. Yes, both becomes undistributed. Now, some men are not happy. Okay, some men are not happy. So here, as you all know, some is the quantifier, men is the subject, R is the copula, and happy is the predicate. Okay, happy is the predicate. So this is a kind of O statement. Whenever you see some not, so students, here this is a particular negative. What it is? It is a particular negative statement, because you can see the word as not. When you see the word not, it means it is a negative proposition. Okay, yes Shreya, it is a O type of proposition. So some S is not P, it is a particular negative. And here, since I am talking about some men, okay, I am not saying that all men are unhappy. I am saying there are only certain men who are unhappy. So the subject term becomes undistributed. Okay, and the predicate. What is the predicate? The predicate term becomes distributed. Okay, the predicate term becomes distributed. Okay, so here how you will remember that predicate term is distributed, you can remember it like the students. This O part means O category is a little complex. You need to remember something like this. If there is a circle of happy and unhappy men have gone away, okay, I'm saying some men are not happy. So since if I'm saying that unhappy men have gone away, so how many, what kind of men is remaining? There is only happy people is remaining. So I'm saying predicate is distributed. So remember, in the O kind of proposition, the subject is undistributed, but the predicate terms become distributed. Okay, got it? Subject undistributed, but the predicate is distributed. Right? So this is a O kind of statement. Now everyone understood? I just want to revise it once for you. All horses are four-legged animals. Since here we were talking about all the horses in the world, so subject was distributed, predicate but the predicate, that is the four-legged animal, it is having other animals also, so it is undistributed. While the second E type of statement, no dogs are cat, it is a E statement. The subject is distributed and the predicate is also distributed. Yes. Now, some men are wealthy. Since I'm talking about only some men, okay, not all the men in the world. So the subject is undistributed and the predicate is also undistributed. Why? Because I'm saying some men are wealthy. Okay, so in the wealthy category, there could be other people also, it could be females also. So it is also undistributed. Okay, now, I'm saying in the O category, some men are not happy. So, since I'm talking about some men, because some men are not happy, it is directly saying that there are certain men who are happy, there are certain who are unhappy. So, if I'm saying some men are not happy, so subject is undistributed, but the predicate is distributed. Yeah. So, this is of the form O type. Okay. Now, let's see the classical square of opposition. What we will see, this is called the classical square of opposition. Very, very important. Okay. So here, what it is. First, I told you, here it looks something like this. This is how the diagram looks like. Universal affirmative means A statement, A statement. Universal negative, E. Universal particular affirmative, O. Particular, sorry, I, and particular negative means O. So A, E, I, O. Okay, how it is? How does it look like? Classical square of opposition means universal affirmative, universal negative, particular affirmative, particular negative. Okay, so now students, there are four important relationships that you need to remember in classical square of opposition. What are these, students? What are these? It means one is called contrary, other is called contradictory, then you have sub-contrary and subaltern. Okay, students, very carefully you need to remember this. See, classical square of opposition, what is contrary? Contrary is the relationship between A and E. Okay, it is the relationship between A and E, like this: A, E, I, and O. So contrary is this relationship between A and E. What is A? All SSP. What is E? No SSP. Right? So the rule is both cannot be true but both can be false. Okay? Both cannot be true but both can be false. For example, there are two men standing. Okay? There are two men standing. Now One is saying I am the PM of India. Okay, one is saying I am the PM of India. The other can be true or what? No, it cannot be true, because prime minister can only be one. We can have only one PM in our country. Okay, in each country there is only one prime minister. So if one is saying that I am the prime minister of India, the other is, if he is also saying he is the prime minister of India, he is definitely false. So if one is true, the other is false. But both can also be false. It could be there, both of them are saying lie. Okay, teaching aptitude and people and environment, 50 ma'am will take. Okay, so square of opposition, contrary. Contrary means the relationship between A and O. And here I'm taking the example as, if one is saying false, the other is saying true, and if both can say false, both can be false, but both cannot be true. And there cannot be a condition that a person is saying I am also the PM and the other is saying all I am also the PM. Both cannot be true, but both can be false. Okay, so you understood this example. If two people are standing, then both can say false statement that okay, if I am saying I am the PM of the country, and another friend of mine, she is saying I am the PM of the country, so we both can lie, because we know Narendra Modi is the prime minister of country. Okay, so if I and my friend both are saying, that means both of us are lying. We are saying a false statement. Contrary means that both can be false, but both cannot be true. Okay, both can be true, but both cannot be false. Very very important, students. Just like lock this thing in your mind. Even if somebody asks you in the sleep, you should be able to answer. Contrary means both cannot be true, but both could be false. Okay, both people cannot be true that okay, both of them are PM of the country, but both can be false. Okay, now what is subcontrary? Subcontrary is the opposite of contrary. Okay, just remember contrary, subcontrary, you will directly remember. So here both could be false, but both cannot be true. Okay. In contrary, both cannot could be false, but both cannot be true. But in subcontrary, both cannot be false. Both of them cannot be false. Both of them could be true. Okay. So subcontrary is the relationship between I and O. It is the relationship between I and O. Remember, contrary will come over here. Sub-contrary means, in office you remember we call subordinates. Okay, so here contrary is the upper end, sub-contrary is the bottom part. Okay, what is contradictory? Most important is this one. Okay, many times question usually comes from contradictory and contrary. Although both of them, all four of them are important, but most importantly here is contradictory and contrary. Okay, questions come from these two a lot. So if you see the relationship contradictory, so contradictory have opposite truth value. Whenever you see the word contradictory, you have to remember a x in your mind. What you have to remember, students? You have to remember a x. A, E, I, and O. So contrary is this relationship between A and O and E and I. A and O and E and I. Okay. So if one is saying true, the other is saying false. If the first one is saying false, the other one is saying true. So if A statement is true, the other is false, or if A statement is false, the other will be true. The same applies for E and O. Okay, what is contrary? It always has opposite value. If one is true, the other is false. If one is false, the other is true. For example, if we are saying, if I am saying some cats are lions. Okay, if I'm saying some cats are lions, so if this statement is true, then what is the E statement for some cats are lion? No cats are lion. Okay, so if some cats are lion is true, no cats are lion is going to be false, right? Everyone understood? Okay, also reminder students, the Evaluation test for categorical proposition is present on the app of the code LR0002. Okay, do give this test, right? Then, what is subalteration? Subalteration is the relationship between A and E, A and I, and E and O. Okay, it is this relationship. I'll draw again. A, E, I, and O. This relationship is called subaltern. Okay, again I'm telling you students from this diagram. Contrary is the top part, sub-contrary is the bottom part. Contrary is the X, the relationship between these. This is called contradictory, and the side ones is called subaltern. Okay, side ones is called subaltern. Remember, in contrary, both could be false, but both cannot be true. Okay, both people can say, okay, I am also, if both of them are saying, okay, I'm the PM of India, I'm the PM of India. So if two people are saying that, there are chances that both can be false, but in no condition both of them can be true, because we cannot have two PMs in our country. Okay, so that means this is an example that you can remember. Both of them could be false. It could be something like this. Both of them could be false, but both of them cannot be true. So this cannot be happen. This cannot happen. While in universal affirmative, if one is true, the other is false. If in a contradictory relationship, if A is true, O is false, or if A is false, O has to be true. Particular affirmative also, if the relationship is contradictory, so if I is true, E is false, or if E is true, I is false. Okay, so it looks something like this. Subaltern means the relationship between A and I and E and O. Okay, okay. Now let's come to the question. The most important part that you were waiting for. Now you will understand what kind of questions will come. Okay, what kind of question will come. All men like cricket. What kind of classical categorical proposition is it? Is it a universal affirmative, particular affirmative, both of them, or neither of them? Yeah, let me know, student, what kind of statement is it? Universal affirmative, particular affirmative, both A and B, or neither one or nor two? Questions. Try to answer the questions. Very good. So happy to see that my students have understood what is taught. All men like cricket. It is a universal. Why I am saying universal? Because you can see the word all. All means it tells us it is a universal statement. Affirmative means it is a positive statement. Okay, so all men like cricket is a universal affirmative. Affirmative means positive. So it is a universal affirmative statement, right? Then, propositions that support the conclusion of an argument are called. So this question is from yesterday's session. Proposition that supports the conclusion of an argument. What it is called? Inferences, premises, concepts, or none of the above. So proposition that supports the conclusion of an argument are called, they are called premises. Remember students, premises are a part of an argument. What is an argument? An argument can have one or more premises, but it has one conclusion. Okay. So here premises is the answer. Proposition that supports the conclusion of an argument is called premises. Okay. Premises could be true and false, and argument is valid or invalid. Right? Then next. Proposition some Indians are not spiritual is an example of universal affirmative, universal negative, particular affirmative, or particular negative. Universal, affirmative, negative, particular affirmative or particular negative. So some Indians, if you draw this A, E, I, O in the categorical proposition, in the classical square of opposition. This is called classical square of opposition. Some Indians are not spiritual is a O statement. It is a particular negative statement. Okay, particular negative proposition. Why I'm saying particular negative? Because some word is there, some means it is particular, and not word is telling you that it is a negative statement. So some Indians are not spiritual is particular negative statement. Right? Now let's see another. All Indians eat rice, some Indians eat rice is an example of what is the relationship between all Indians eat rice. A E I O. All Indians eat rice, some Indians eat rice. So this relationship, what it is called? Subalteration, contrary, contradictory, or subcontrary. All Indians eat rice, some Indians eat rice. The proposition are an example of which kind of relationship. All Indians eat rice and some Indians eat rice is an example of subalteration. Remember, students, contrary is A and E, contradictory is A and O and E and I, and subcontrary is this one. Okay, I and O. While subalteration is A and I and E and O. Okay, remember, subalteration is A and I, this one, and E and O, this one. Okay, so this perpendicular lines, two parallel lines, tells us it is subalteration. Okay, next question. If two proposition cannot be true, cannot be false, but may be true, then what is the relationship between the two proposition? A, E, I, and O. Both cannot be false, but may be true. Both cannot be false, but may be true. What kind of proposition is this? Answer this, students, very important. Yeah, this is an example of the relationship contradictory. In this, you can say both can be false, but both cannot be true. Right? This is what we said. Both cannot be true, but both can be false. So, what is subcontrary? Both could be true, but both cannot be false. Okay, both could be true but both cannot be false. So the question is saying two proposition cannot be false but may be true. So cannot be false but may be true, it is subcontrary. Okay, so B is the answer to this question. It is not contrary. Why it is not contrary? Because in contrary we say both cannot be true. Okay, in contrary we say both cannot be true. So the statement is saying both cannot be false. So false applies to sub-contrary. Remember students, again and again I am telling you, contrary means both cannot be true. Sub-contrary is both cannot be false. Okay, right? So B is the answer. Affirmative or negative is the classical or classification of proposition on the basis of quantity, quality, validity or truth. Affirmative or negative, whether it is quantity, quality, validity or truth. Affirmative and negative is the classification of proposition on the basis of quality. Okay, it is the basis of quality, because affirmative tells us if it is a positive, and negative statement is the opposite of positive. Okay, so the words like all SSP, some SSP, it is affirmative. No SSP and some S is not P, it is negative. So it tells us about the quality. While quantity tells all, no, some, all these words tell you about the quantity. Okay, validity of the argument. You remember the validity? How do we see the validity? We draw it in the Venn diagram. Okay, in the Venn diagram, we see the premises and then we draw something like this. Okay, this, something like this. So this tells about the validity of the argument. But if you are talking about positive, means affirmative and negative, it is quality. Okay, now in universal negative proposition, how are the terms distributed? Very important question. In universal negative, remember A, E, I, and O. So universal negative is E statement. Remember in E is subject distributed, predicate undistributed, subject undistributed, predicate distributed. Both are distributed or neither are distributed. So if you look at the example, no dogs are cats. So this is a universal negative. Why I'm saying universal? Because no word is coming. All and no. Which question you want me to repeat? Yeah. So universal negative proposition in this, both of the terms are undistributed. Because if I'm saying no dogs is cat, so the term dogs is the subject and cats is the predicate. Okay. So my statement no dogs is cat is applying to all the dogs in the world. N- to- I cannot call any dog cat or any cat dog. Okay. So the statement no dogs is applied to each and every dog in the world, which is the subject, and the cats is the predicate. So both the terms are distributed. C is the answer. Okay. C is the answer to this question. Remember, again I am telling you this is very important table, so I brought it again, student. All SSP, it is a universal statement because word all is coming. No SSP is also a universal statement because no is coming. Particular means some word is coming, again some S is not P is also particular statement. Quality, what is the quality? All SSP is it is positive statement. No SSP is also negative statement. Okay, I is positive and O is negative. One, many students asking me to explain. Okay, quality one. Okay, this one. Affirmative or negative is the classification of proposition on the basis of quality. Okay, so quantity is what, students? First, let me tell you quantity. So quantity means if I'm saying all, no, some. So all these are telling about the quantity, right? All the chairs are all chairs are beds. Okay, so I am saying all the chairs in the world are beds. So this is a kind of quantity. And quality, negative or positive, right? When you say, okay, there is some friend of yours who is always saying he is very optimistic. Okay, he or she is very optimistic, he's saying all the good things in the world, so you say this person is a very positive person. And there is one person who is always having problems in the world, always talking about ill. Okay, India is bad, this is bad, that is bad, or the current situation is bad. So he is always saying about negative. So what is called, so I will call this person, okay, he's a positive person. Okay, if he's saying good things, I'm saying positive. If he's saying bad things, it is negative. So it is telling me about the quantity, right? Quality. So quality is what? It could be positive, the proposition can be negative. So if I'm saying no dogs are cat, it is an Negative statement because not word is there. Okay. So positive means if it is having something like all beds are chair, it is a positive statement. And if I'm saying no beds are chair, it is a negative statement. Okay. So this tells you about the quality. Okay. So remember this table very important. No SSP here both are distributed. Okay. In I both of them are undistributed. Okay. And in O one is undistributed, the other is distributed. Okay. So one more question. Okay. Yes, we have one more question. When the subject and predicate of both the premises is the same but they differ in quality as well as quantity, it is known as subaltern, contrary, subcontrary, or subaltern. Subject and predicate both is the same but they differ in quality as well as in quantity. So subject and predicate of both the premises. Okay. A, E, I, and O. A, E, I, O. So I am saying both of them subject and predicate is same. Okay. Like if I say all SSP, no SSP, some SSP, some S is not P. So here I am saying both the subject and predicate is same but they differ in quality as well as in quantity. So if you see this relationship contradictory, okay, this is on contradictory, you remember. So here all is there, here some is there, so quantity is different. Okay. If you take the proposition A and O, in A what is the quantity? It is universal and O is particular. Okay. O is a affirmative statement and A is the affirmative statement, O is the negative statement. So the quality is also different, the quantity is also different in contradictory. C is the answer. Okay, in contradictory, quality as well as quantity is different. While if you see here in this, here in contrary, if you see what is the same? Universal. Both of them are universal. So quantity is same but the quality is different. Okay. Quantity is same, quantity is same but the quality means positive and negative is different. Okay. Yes, universal and particular, very good, very good. Okay. So thank you for coming in this session, students. I hope you liked it and I hope you have understood everything that is taught for today. The evaluation test code for today is LR002. Right after the session, go and give the test and see how much you're scoring. Very important evaluation test you have to give daily. And today in the session, we saw what is categorical proposition. It is a proposition that relates two classes of objects. Okay. We saw what is quantity, we saw what is quantifier, what is your subject, what is predicate, what is copula. Then we also saw what is a universal statement. We saw what is a particular statement. Then we saw, students, what is classical square of opposition. Okay. Square of opposition we saw. In this, we also saw what is A statement, what is E, what is I, what is O, and we also saw in each of them whether the subject is distributed, undistributed, or whether subject is undistributed. Means we saw the distribution of the terms. Okay, then we saw what are the four types of relationship in classical square of opposition. We have contrary, we have subcontrary, we have contradictory. Okay, we saw subaltern. Okay, so it looks something like this: A, E, IO. So this is contrary, this is subcontrary, this is contradictory, and this is subaltern. So this is classical square of opposition. We also saw what kind of questions come in the examination. So I hope this session was helpful to you all, and whatever I was trying to explain, I hope every one of you have understood. If you have any doubts, just let me know. Okay. At the end, I would also like to tell you students, we have started our paper 2 courses for economics, commerce, computer science, and management. So if you're looking for courses, then we have complete mock test in for computer for all these four subjects. You have notes, then there are video lectures and pyq pdf. And the speciality of these courses is paper 1 is free. Paper 1 is free if you take the paper 2 courses. Okay, so the fees for the same is 7,000 rupees, and you get, it is a combo offer where paper 1 and paper 2 you can both avail at 7,000 rupees. You can contact on this WhatsApp number, or either you can join us on our global online app. The link is there pinned up in the description box as well, or in the comment section as well. Okay, students, so go and give the evaluation test, and whatever we studied on categorical proposition also you have understood. All those students who have not joined our batches, our new batch is starting from 24th of April. Students, you can join us through global online app, or you can join us through our WhatsApp number. Fees is 3,000 for paper 1. Okay, do join our batches and track your upcoming UGC net examination. So see you in tomorrow's class. Take care. Bye bye.